Play the yoga. So let's start with our yoga flow today. So drop your head on your mat. Make sure your chin is on your nose. Get the stretch on your hamstrings. Get into your downward facing dog. And then just drop your back down. And then now you're just going to alternate your knees by bending them alternatively. Make sure the opposite knee is your heel is pressed on the floor when you bend one knee. And then from your downward facing dog, you're just going to try to take one leg up to the ceiling. And then when you're done, you're just going to bend it a bit before you drop it down to the mat. And then you're going to attempt the same with another leg up to the ceiling. And before you drop it to the mat, just try to bend it and drop it down. And then from here, I'm going to come to my thunderbolt pose. And then I'm going to stretch my back and my shoulders. So this pose stretches your shoulders and also your upper back. You're just going to alternate like that while on your thunderbolt pose. This is more like a thunderbolt variation. And then you're just going to raise from your ankles, and then with both your hands intertwined together, you're going to try to look into the opposite side, and then you're just going to come back again and then try again. So with each drop, you make sure that you take your hands slightly lower than they are before, as if you're trying to look at someone at the back. All right. And then this gives you that nice stretch in your lower back and also in your shoulders and your arms. So then from here, now we are going to come into a lunge. Make sure that lunge is nice and deep so you get that stretch in your thighs. And also you can extend the angle over to your knee, and then now I'm just gonna try to reach for the back of my leg while the other hand is face up to the sky. And then from here, I'm gonna come back from my lunge into my half split on this side. Rest my chin and nose on my knees. Get the hamstrings stretched out. All this while getting that breath, like keep breathing deep as possible. Back into my lunge, I'm also gonna make sure that I stretch it out, and then I'm gonna do this variation of the lunge again with my elbows rested on the mat, both of them, and my hands intertwined, touching, or you can just intertwine your fingers. Hold this for a few breaths, and then when you are done, make sure your knee is raised from the floor or the mat, and then now it's floating in the sky, and then your leg is balanced on your tippy toes. And then we are gonna drop back into our lunge, and then from here we are just going to alternate to the opposite limb. Again, we are gonna start on this lunge with one knee on the floor, and then we are just gonna make sure we get that nice and deep stretch. And then from here, we are gonna try a variation. We're gonna move to your half splits in the opposite limb, so you just make sure that you are on your half split pose, and we're just gonna try to repeat the sequence that we did on the previous side on this side. So now we are just resting our nose on our knee and stretching out our hamstrings. Back into the lunge now with both our arms in on the mat, and then from here we are going to attempt a variation of this lunge where we are going to rest both our elbows on the mat. While also controlling our breath, we make sure that when we are in this pose, your spine is straight. You stretch out your knee, and then from here, now you're resting your dorsal surface of your feet on the mat, and your hands are intertwined. And then now you're gonna move and then rest your tippy toes on your mat and raise your knee from the mat like you did on the opposite side. So you're gonna hold this for a few breaths. Make sure you catch that nice and deep breath. Then you drop your knee to the mat, and then now you are going to attempt your child's pose. You're just gonna rest there, catch your breath. This is a very resting pose, but it also engages your muscles. So it's a resting pose, but you're also getting the work done on those muscles and on that beautiful body. And then from there, you're gonna raise from your child pose, and now you're gonna do a cobra pose. So when a cobra snake attack, it raises its head like that, so you are imitating it the way it usually is on its striking position. So your knees are rested on the mat, and now you're gonna raise them so that your body weight is now balanced by your arms and your legs. And then back into a downward facing dog. Make sure you press your heels to the mat. Get that nice stretch into your hamstrings. And here I'm just going to do a variation of a downward facing dog where I just slightly bend my knees, but they do not touch the floor. This is also a nice active stretch to do on your lower limbs, like your thighs and your knees and also your lower legs. And then from here, it's also a variation of a downward facing dog. This time your heels are slightly raised and you're standing on your elbows. Back again into my thunderbolt pose, and then I'm just gonna stretch that spine in some little motions. Back again into this thunderbolt variation. That is my favorite. So if you do not have the ability, do not just drop, or you have not attempted this before, do not just drop your head all at once. Go slowly at the back while you are trying this. So in this video, this thunderbolt pose will be the last pose of the day. I hope you like this yoga flow. You follow it, you try it, and let me know how it goes for you. If you made it up until this far, I like to say thank you. See you again in another yoga pose. Thank you. Bye.